Hello, everyone. While India's prowess in the services industry is very well known and documented, on the product side, there have been success stories, possibly not at the same scale and possibly not as well known. One of them is Quickheal Technologies, which started a product journey when nobody used to think about products from India. They competed with some of the biggest names at that point of time, especially in a category like antivirus and cybersecurity, when there was hardly an industry, whether in India or globally, in that space. And that's where I was thinking it'll be so fascinating to get their story and to understand how they went about it. So I reached out to Sanjay Katkar, who's their joint MD and co founder, to ask him if he could come on a show and talk about their journey. And what was more interesting for me was their channel and distribution journey. Because I think what they've done is a fascinating synchronization of a great product and a great distribution network, and especially the way they went about it. So, this discussion with Sanjay is about their early journey as a product, also as a company which built their channel playbook one city at a time and then truly went national and then subsequently global. And as they finally became a known brand, I can proudly say that one of the very, very few yet known names from India who have built a successful product with such a deep understanding of how channels work. I hope all of you like the conversation. Thank you. First of all, Sanjay, welcome and thank you so much for accepting this invite for this discussion.
I'll say thank you, Anuj, for inviting me here. I'm pretty glad to be here and excited to have this discussion. Yeah.
So I was just also thinking, Sanjay, I don't know if you remember, but I met you at your office almost about 10 years back, to almost
Yeah,
to.
I do remember. Yeah. In Tube Park office, right? I think
Yes,
so.
that's right.
Shivaji. Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was just talking to the person who had introduced us, Anand, and I was just reminiscing, what we spoke about that day, and I think 10 years is a long time, but so many things have happened in the industry. But what I wanted to do today was, uh, I wanted to go back to your beginnings, because what a lot of people see uh, today as Quickheal and obviously the new avatar is the shining IPO'd company and things like that. But I think there is so much of sweat and blood which has gone behind that. A lot of times people don't see that, and it would be great to understand that. But there was another angle to that, and that kind of was triggered with some of the posts you have been putting off late. And I realized that
Hmm.
your journey of building a product company out of India when nobody thought about products. And I'm sure you understand this, that 95 was, that era was not a time of building product companies out of India. Obviously, there were services companies, and there were, to be fair, there were also a couple of product companies who were either starting or were there. But you were really, really, from that perspective, early pioneers of the Indian product era, so to say. So I wanted to kind of get into that, and then we'll come to the recent glory. But I wanted to start there, and
Hmm.
that's where I wanted to start. What was your founding vision? When you say we started Quick Heal, and you understood a few gaps as the market had those days. So what were the early days like, Sanjay?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so as you were building the question, I could go through the whole recall like all those days about 90s actually. So the thing is like when I was doing college and when uh, I decided to join Kailash for he was doing his computer maintenance business, and I was doing college. And viruses were a very early stage, I'll say, because computers had just arrived. That those days were we didn't had internet in India. We were not having even means email was somewhere in certain large organizations like TCS and all, but email was about to launch. VSNL was announcing those news about that. So those was a very early days. Tech was completely different. I mean, computers were not everywhere. It was luxury. It was with only large organizations and very few institutes. As I was doing college in while doing masters, even at the sale, while doing graduation itself, I came across virus related challenges. And since we were taught about C language and other computer languages and also operating system internals, I was keen about how things work deeper inside, and that's how I started debugging virus, because debug was one of the subject in our operating system subject actually, and that's where I debugged my first virus in college itself. And that's how my I'll say journey towards virus and fighting viruses started actually. And really speaking, that became my turning point altogether. I mean, I never imagined that, but now throughout this like more than 3.5 decades, I have been doing the same thing. Like my career has been technology and cybersecurity. So that's how the start happened. And while building, as you said, we were never thinking, myself and guys, that this is going to be a big business. My focus on in those early days was to solve the virus challenges that Kailash's customers were facing. He was having computer maintenance as a business, but hardware was his forte. He was focused on solving anything that is related to hardware. But many a times, a lot of computers end up in his workshop not functioning well, but hardware was altogether uh, having no problem. And then I had this insight about viruses, so I started developing tools to clean those infected PCs. And those tools were command line tools. DOS was more popular operating system, and I started writing tools for each and every virus that used to arrive in those days while doing masters. But by the time I finished masters, Kailash talked me through that instead of going for any internship and job, why don't you focus on creating this antivirus product out altogether? And we were never thinking on those lines that we'll make this product and start selling. Our thought was to create a product to solve the problems of these all the hardware maintenance guys actually. Because antivirus were there, MNC products were there, but they were very costly. Software was very costly at that time actually. And so my tools were used by many of the maintenance guys in Pune, across Pune, and it was freely distributed. And the advantage I realized is that I my focus was, since it was cleaning viruses and focusing about what challenges customers were facing, I realized that many even bigger organizations who were having MNC products, antivirus products, using them, they were still using my command line tools. And I started talking to them, what is it that they realized why they wanted to use my. And then he said that customers used to say my product used to solve the cleaning part as well much well, and there were a lot of complex viruses. They started arriving much faster as internet and email started penetrating. These MNC products were little late with respect to solutions, and I was pretty fast, so that really helped. And apart from solving virus problems, I realized that computers users were having really unique problems here in India. For example, many organizations were using novel netware as the operating system,
Okay.
and novel netware was little bit complex, but we used to log in through a desktop inside a server. But virus used to be very clever at that time. As soon as somebody logs in who is infected, the whole network used to get infected in few seconds actually. And there was no option for anybody to disconnect each and every PC from the network, clean each of them, and then clean the server and re-log in. All these things used to take days actually. And I realized this is a problem of an antivirus should solve that rather than just solving virus problem. So my tool, I developed this whole thing about login internally through my antivirus to the server and stopping virus while it was trying to infect any other PCs. All those smaller innovations, differentiations, I could pick when I was just interacting with customers and in, day out. Like I used to sit with them and see what challenge they face while using antiviruses, what challenge they face while cleaning the whole network. And those challenges I used to solve through technological approach. And that really created a big differentiator. Means I was not even understanding that I am creating something that is going to become a big actually. And that's how the whole thing happened actually, I'll say.
Amazing. And since I was telling you earlier that this is about a very important topic on the channel playbook side. I think the foundation in terms of where and how Quick Heal started is great, but I will kind of try to veer you towards the whole channel side of your business. And it was
Mhm.
very, very fascinating when last week we were talking about this, and you said that the first couple of years actually we did everything which we could do wrong in terms of building the channel. So would love to understand from you, when did you start thinking about channel, and how did you start building the channel? And I kind of spilled the beans, but what went wrong those days in the
Yeah,
initial?
yeah. So that's a very, I'll say, when I look back, that's a very lot of learning out there and a very interesting story. The thing, as you rightly said, when we started, and as I said, Quickheal started becoming popular in Pune. We created that product. We released that product in '95. But as I said, freely it was distributed. People were happy using it, but nobody was ready to pay. But then we thought, let's approach national distributors. We did that approach as well. But unfortunately, no national distributor was ready to touch the product. Now, I'll tell you the situation at back then was most of these national distributors were having products that were needed for enterprises, not B2C. B2C was yet to build in India at that time for software. So most of these were B2B, and products like Microsoft, Oracle, all these large brands were out there, and they were pretty much happy with what they were selling. They don't wanted to come with this antivirus from India. So we tried that. We didn't got any success. Then we tried to appoint regional distributors like city-wise or even state-wise. It worked for a couple of months in the sense we got orders, but then we soon realized that it is not working. Why? Because orders were there but revenue was not there. People were not just placing orders but they were not paying us. We were giving credit after credit, we were extending credit after credit. We realized that that's not going to help because we do need investment into products. And in these early 4 years, almost since 95 to 98, 99, we were quite dependent on Kailash's hardware maintenance business for all the investment into product and enhancements that we were trying to do. And we were also learning in these phases about how distribution is working because we failed, we tried, we failed. And we also appointed people to directly do door-to-door marketing, uh, door-to-door sales. And then it again was not successful. Then we realized what is it that is working for us, why product is successful with respect to distribution it is not working, but with respect to respect, with respect to brand, it was working well in Pune. So we realized that because all these hardware maintenance guys across Pune, they were happily using our product, we started approaching them to sell this product. Now you have to imagine those days, most of these hardware maintenance guys and even small shops across Pune were working in only hardware. They were not selling software. So everything from printers to cartridges to floppies and hard disks All these things were assembled computers were thing at that time, and everything we used to see workshops or small shops across Pune for these things actually. And so we realized they were very pretty confident about our product because they had used it for years. So we realized let's approach them to start selling the product, and we really had good relations with them. So they said we can try, and that's how we started getting smaller success in Pune by these small shops. They started selling. Now that was the first step of channel building for us. It means we never realized we were building channel, but the point is we started appointing all these small shops as our sellers or retailers, and then we started training them for how to sell, how to get money and pay us, all these things actually. And gradually we further realize and how things improved later on, that getting collection of revenue from all these distributor small retailers was a big challenge. And in few couple of years, by say 2001, to what we realize is let's appoint mid layer distributors. Now that's we call them as tier 2
Sub distributors, as
distributors.
they call them now.
Yeah, and their focus was to just sell products to these small retailers, and then retailers were the foot on the ground. They used to make sure the product is installed and sold and the money is collected. So our load of collecting money from all these small retailers was offloaded to these tier 2 distributors, and we had to like give them certain margins to approach to do that. But that really started working for us. So all these learnings were there for us in Pune city itself. For like we were like kind of building our own book of creating a distribution network in smaller city, and those learnings really helped us a lot, I'll say,
Very
when we
interesting.
started Pune
Yeah,
actually.
sorry, very interesting, because this is almost like a, a FMCG distribution model, because you are creating retailers, and then you have a wholesaler who is then kind of extending that. So phenomenal insight there. Now, how did you now then go beyond Pune? Because you kind of mastered Pune as a region, as a city, I should say. And then when did you start, and how did you start scaling into the country? And what were those days like?
Yeah, so as we started doing good in Pune, we realized by 2001, 2002, we were getting good enough revenue only from Pune, and Quickheal has become a good brand. Almost we had captured larger market share in Pune from all the MNC products. More than everybody, our product was getting sold. So we thought we in those days we even tried doing the same thing by appointing dealers in Mumbai and other cities, but we were realizing that the revenue was not up to the mark, or the sale was not up to that level. uh, we started thinking what is happening, and then what we realized is that all these tier 1 and tier 2 partners, they were happy working with us in Pune because they were sure that for any support or anything, Quickheal office is here. They can reach out, they can ask for any kind of after sales support, and we were there to help. But out of Pune, these guys, means guys out of Pune were not able to do that. So we thought we should start our own branch office, which will operate and help as a backend for all these partners, dealers. And we did that by approaching by opening a first branch out of Pune in Nasik. We selected smaller city to make sure that we are able to deal with that in early learnings. And what we did in Pune, we implemented everything in Nasik. And in like first 3 4 months we were break even, and in like 6 months we were doing very good profit, and it was like adding good enough revenue for us, and we thought this is working. And similarly we started opening offices in different cities, and in I'll say from 2002 to 2010 we opened offices in different cities every 6 months actually. And by 2010 we were having more than 30 offices across India, and we were able to grab the India's largest market share from antiviruses. So all the MNCs were selling lesser than us. We were having more than 30% market share. Means in that span of 7 to 8 years, we were India's number one brand in antivirus.
Wow. And I remember, I think about 6 months back, or maybe 3 months back, Sanjay, I remember one of your, if I'm not wrong, one of your oldest international partners from Spain or Italy. I think they were there at
Mhm.
your Pune office,
Right,
asking
right.
you. So I kind of want to now go from Indian context to the global context. So how did the global, build out happen?
Yeah, so as we were doing good in India, I had been like on the product side, I had been making sure that our product is up to the mark, or maybe competing with the best of the brands in MNC level. So I used to make sure our product has the international certification, international presence. I used to go and present papers in larger conferences out there like Virus Bulletin or Black Hat, and my presence, our products performance in all these tests really used to attract certain distributors. They used to approach us for distribution in their region. And around 2004-5 we were having good distributors from certain distributors from Canada, US, and certain countries of Europe, especially countries like Italy and Spain. They had asked us for regional language localized version of Quickheal, which we did. And then after, what we realize is not all partners were successfully able to sell product in their region, but then those partners who were in similar setup, just as the computer maintenance setup here in Pune and all that, we realized those partners were able to do good business with us because they had the similar process, similar approach of working with tier 1, tier 2 and retailer network in their region, and they really learned a lot from us, and we also learned a lot from them. And our partner network in Italy or even in Spain and certain countries, it was something that was replica of what we did in India actually.
Wow. And it's
Only
so
thing is,
fascinating.
our presence was not there, but our approach, our learnings, we used to share with them, and they used to immediately implement in their regional way, in their regional language. They had their own software and all that. That really worked actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay, because it's so fascinating. When I talk to founders today, especially who are now starting to build out, and they're building for a global audience. Uh, there is always this reservation, if you will, about how do we go to European markets or non-English speaking markets. And when you talk about some of this, I think it is so fascinating to think about what you did about 10, 15 years back, which the problem still remains same. Non-English speaking countries are still non-English speaking countries.
Right,
But
right.
I think what I take from that point you make is that you were learning from them about their local issues, as well as they were learning from you to replicate your model into their markets. And I think that synchronization with a local partner or local entity, if you will, is so important, because if that happens, uh, I'm not surprised that they have been your
Yeah,
partners for.
especially it's about connect. I'll say, even means there are other countries in Europe as well where we are still not successful. The only thing is we are not connected to the right partner in that ecosystem. Once you start building that, once you meet these people, understand their challenges, talk like they are just like us. Actually, they also want to build their own business. They also want to grow in their area, and if we go in their shoes, then we realize what is the change that we need in our policies, what we need to give them as a distributor, what we need to do in the software, what we need to do in the process, or I'll say compliances, or not only compliances, about the discussion, about the agreements that we do with them, the incentives, everything. It falls in place when you have that kind of connect, when we understand what challenges they are facing, and accordingly it works well. So, and everywhere people are like us only, we just have to get connected to the right guys actually.
Yeah, fascinating. I think it also comes down to the trust factor, that once people start trusting you, and you start trusting them, then they become an extension of you. You become an extension of their business. So absolutely, I agree. Great. Now if you fast forward this, obviously now you have IPO'd, and obviously everybody talks about the success story out of Pune. And the other big difference is that you continue to be based out of Pune, and you're still built a global business. So if I were to ask you, uh, as we start wrapping this discussion up, if you were to be building a business like this from Pune today, uh, what would you do differently? And I'm specifically kind of trying to go towards the channel, from a channel perspective, both from a channel as well as product perspective, but specifically what would you do differently today, and some of the learnings you had along the way.
See, answer to this question can be like today, what is it different? The thing is, today we have so many things available which were not there at that time. So, with respect to, I'll say the kind of networks we have, the kind of smart connectivity we are having, phones, we are having softwares, we are having cloud approach, everything which was not there at that time. So now, if I have to build all these things back again, I'll feel the focus will be on having a strong backend, because over these years when we build the partner ecosystem, just we talked about all this, technology really plays a very big role here actually. And if we can have a good backend, now we have it because we did this over the years, and this has matured now, and it is much easier for partners to work with us without having too much of manpower. It all things are automated. I'll talk about the backend with respect to that connects with the partners. you know our partners now, in the morning he comes to office, he just logs into partner portal of ours, and he sees how many of his customers are about to expire, their subscription is about to expire. He can directly click on those partners, means the customers, WhatsApp them through his laptop, talk about the renewal deals. All these things is now so smooth that, and he's even fearless with respect to, like earlier, I'll see, we have matured these over the years, because see now partners how they feel, if they bring customer to us, we will reach them those customers directly through software, and then after there will be no connect of partner, and next renewal he will not gain. All those fear was there, and we realized we were partner first approach. We always had that partner first approach. So we thought, no, we should be giving that confidence to the customer that even though we are connected to the customers, and we can reach to him for renewals, we made sure that his portion of the margins that he should be gaining through all these, while as he has bought the customer, supported the customer over the years, and no matter even if he is not in the picture, every renewal happens. Even if the customer comes to our website directly, renewal happens and margins are directly seen on his portal, and he can redeem them and redeem them into his account in just few clicks. All this automation is really brought in confidence of these partners in us actually. And that thing, I'll if I go back, then I can build this from scratch, because that backbone really helps, I'll say. It really makes easy for everybody. I'll tell you, we are the only company in India in distribution. Even though I am in antivirus and cybersecurity as my business, but we also have this distribution created by our own efforts. And it has that advantage that we are in touch with the tier 3 partners, we are in touch with tier 2 partners. Every sale happens from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3. We are knowing where the product is moving. We know each and every customer that is approached by our partners. So that's the technological advantage we have. And at the same time, the partner has the confidence in us that we will not directly take their customers away actually. That's the thing which is very important
Oh,
even
absolutely.
nowadays, because partners really, it's not about only margins for partners. The point is partners are here to create, do business, create their own identity, in that they wanted to have the confidence of customers. And when they are doing that, they wanted to work with good products, they wanted to work with good brands, and at the same time they want that their customers are happy, and uh, happily working with them, and that the whole win-win situation for everybody has to be there. So if that is there, then you can reach any heights, I'll say. I mean, you can always beat any competition out there actually.
Amazing. And I think uh, last question to you, Sanjay, would be: you have seen, as in you have seen waves of uh, product building from India. You yourself have been a pioneer in that space. Uh, what would be that one or two key lessons or advice you would like to give uh, people who are building products from India for the world? Uh, what would that advice be? For example, people like us who are starting now and following your footsteps, so to say, what advice would you typically give to entrepreneurs now?
Yeah, so very simple. I always talk on this whenever somebody asks me about this. Is like whatever you are building, just focus on the customer challenges. Don't follow any trend or any hype that is going around. Many times I've seen founders fall for certain technological hype going on. So was in these couple of years we are seeing so many things going, trying to use AI and all that. I'm for that. We can make use of that. But the point is, it shouldn't overpower our approach or our vision. Our vision, if you are solving certain challenge, you focus on that challenge. And customer is something that you will learn from a lot. So just be very connected to the customer. And if you can do that, then customers will make sure that you are successful. That's the only thing I'll suggest. So being an understanding customer and taking small steps. Okay, there will be failures, there will be all these challenges that you may face. The thing is, you just have to pivot if there is a need based on what failures are there. But the point is, are you trying to satisfy what the customer is looking or looking at? And feedback, are you taking that feedback in the right fashion, is something that I'll say. And that will definitely change your approach towards the way you are providing the solution or the way you are approaching the customer. And apart from that, I'll also say distribution network is a very key aspect. Even though we say that there's an everything is now online, cloud is there, website helps for selling all that, but still people are also very much in need of personal connects. People who always go for brands who are having certain personal connect. So if you are having foot on ground, if you are having distribution network which is well trained, and they can talk to customers, understand their needs, get their pulse, then that brand really gets better age than those that are only focused online, I'll say.
Awesome. Great, Sanjay. I think fascinating insights into how how you build the whole organization, which now you represent. What really stands out is, uh, I think, all the product strength which you built. You kind of juxtapose the distribution strength into that, and I think that is so important because, as somebody said, that distribution is everything. If you can build your distribution of whatever you're doing, services, product, whatever. And I think in your case, the playbook which you started from Pune and then extended it to other cities and then went global, I think is so fascinating for a lot of us and such great learnings in that. I really wanted to thank you for spending so much time today on sharing your learnings, Sanjay, and thank you so much. Look forward to being connected again. So
Yeah, it was great to talk to you today. Yeah, thank you.